Even if you have only one person in your team, you are still a leader. So, do you practice leadership or followership? Maybe followership is not a term you're familiar with, and even if you are, I'll explain it from my point of view. And I promise you this, if you adopt this style of managing your team, it will pay you huge dividends, and you'll find running your team a lot more enjoyable too. First of all, let's take a look at old style leadership. Something that's been practiced for literally hundreds of years, almost since business began. Imagine this scene. We're in a large room with lots of heavy wooden and steel furniture, a big office. I blindfold you. I turn you around 3 times so you're really disoriented, and then I demand you take 4 large steps forward, and you don't have a clue where you're heading or what you might bump into. How would that feel? Probably scary and very uncomfortable. That's old style leadership. That's the "I'm the boss, you're not, just do it" style of leadership. And that doesn't work as well as it used to. So let's take a look at more modern leadership style. We're in that same room. I ask you to close your eyes. I explain the objectives of the exercise very clearly. I explain how I will lead you. I check you're happy with that before we start. And then I guide you around the room for 1 minute, gently holding your elbow and leading you step by step. I gave you clear objectives and bags of praise as we're moving along and at the end. How does that compare? And that's good modern style leadership. Or is it? Is there a better way? There is. It's called the followership model of leadership. So it's exactly the same situation as before, but this time I ask you if you would like to keep your eyes open while I brief you. I explain the objectives clearly, and then I ask you, how do you want to be led around the room? And you'll tell me, and I'll do it the way you want, and you'll happily follow me and give it your very best shot. That's followership. Leadership that people respect, admire, and are happy to follow. And it's so much better because a one-size-fits-all approach just does not work anymore. And also be aware the way you want to be led and which influences your leadership style is not likely to be their choice. So let's look at a few questions you can ask. Ask new people and people already on your team, because it's never too late to make a fresh start on your leadership style. Ask them, who was the best boss you ever had and why were they so good? What did they do? And what did they not do? I can guarantee you the answers you get will surprise you and give you a much greater insight how you can get the very best from your team. And here's a few more. Who was the worst boss you ever had and why were they the worst? That will tell you the mistakes you should probably avoid. Ask, how do you want to be led? Ask, how do you want me to give you tasks? They may want them face to face with you by email or text, or want to be told by someone else maybe. Ask, how do you like to be praised? Some people love to be praised and recognised in front of the team. Others like it to be kept very private. And yet others want it displayed on a notice board for all to see for weeks to come. Ask, how do you want to give me feedback? That makes it clear it's okay to feedback information to you, and it makes it easy for them to tell you what's working and what's not. And ask them, how do you want the bad news? Because sometimes you are going to have to give them bad news, and it's good to know how to deliver it that will be the most acceptable method and get the response you want. So that, my friends, is followership, the best style of leadership. And when you adopt that, your team, no matter how small or large, will reward you for taking it. And together, everyone achieves more.